So for me, this is my second entrepreneurial gig, really. The first one was I started a content portal for South Asian women. This was based out of the US. And the first 8-9 months were great, very significant traction, very, very bootstrapped, but doing well traffic from over 50 countries. The minute I stepped out in the market to raise money, it was not happening. It was very clear that the market, the numbers that most of the investors were looking at that time, this was also 2009 when the market was dicey, which it gets every couple of years. I think that's another thing that most of us need to remember, that good times don't last. It didn't work. I could not raise money, and with the same numbers, if I had tried to raise money in a better time, then I would have raised a significant amount of money. So timing was off for me. So that was it was a huge learning experience, because the tricks of the trade that I learned in that have come up very handy at Shopclues. But it was sad as well, because a lot of hard work had gone into it. I think the second thing that's always a very funny thing is when we started, when we came together to start Shopclues, we had a term sheet from one of the largest VCs in the world, and a very significant amount term sheet. This was on the business plan, on the team that had come together. All of us had quit our jobs, and at the last minute, Amazon came up with a press release saying that they were going to enter India. I'm talking about 2011, mid of 2011, and our term sheet got withdrawn. And this is when our families, everybody was planning on already moving to India. Not planning on moving to India. Containers were packed, jobs were gone, and the money was gone. At that time, there was just two things to do. Either you just take a step back, go groveling back to your bosses and say, please give us our jobs back, because the money that we had planned for Shopclues has not come through. And the other one was try and raise money. So our founder, the main founder, he raised money, and we are here. It was a significantly smaller round, but there were a couple of very, very sleepless nights, very scary, to decide whether we really wanted to do that. And I think finally, there hasn't been a single round where things have gone as expected.
That is because you're expecting something different.
No, like I'm just expecting the normal. It just never happens.
So I'll just, all rounds will be like that. I think future rounds will also be like that. About failure, I think I'll just say, failure, like Radhika actually said it, she learned a lot. I think as a point of view, you have to have failures. They are the biggest teachers. For me, in Shopclues, I think we fail every day. It teaches us something and we try again. I think the moment you give up is actually when you fail. But I think I actually try to get into an entrepreneurial setup in 2009, and it did not happen. It actually did not even take off. It did not take off because I was not able to convince my family that we should all, move to India. And there was this fear, and in fact, I was also a little fearful. Should I do it? What if it doesn't work? And I think the framework that worked for me in 2011 was I kind of boxed it into timelines. Like Radhika said, bad times don't last forever. Actually, good times also don't last forever. The point is, nothing lasts forever. And in 2011, what happened was we said, okay, I'll give myself 4 years to come to India and try out Shopclues. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, I'm actually going to get an MBA degree in real world. And what is the worst that can happen? I will probably lose the same amount of money from my savings, which I would have paid any MBA college in the US. And that frame of mind actually held me, just gave me a lot of confidence, because my worst case scenario was covered, and I was very comfortable with that. On my family side, for them it was not a permanent move. Oh my God, if I move, then what happens? Will we ever come back? And I think they also kind of time boxed it. If you don't like it, you can go back in 2 years. And I think that framework worked. So I think what we are trying to do now is that we keep into perspective that good times don't last forever, and so do bad ones. and that gives us a lot of strength.